older, so I'm just happy that we're here. You know, March 7th. I believe, did they announce that it's here? And
Yeah,
did they just say
yeah.
March 7th? Yeah,
Yep.
March 7th in Las Vegas, the 9th Island, baby. It's good to be home, so I can't wait.
Yeah, you said you were down to fight Charles, but you want to kind of do it on your terms, fight in Las Vegas.
Yes,
You've
sir.
had good history here.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's a fight that everyone wants to see. It's a really exciting fight. So for you, when you think about it, though, how does it play out between Charles and you?
I go out there, I get my
And I know that you watched Charles Oliveira's last fight and, kind of had a reaction to that. Were you streaming when you watched that, actually? Or you streamed, like, right after, right? So you were kind of on top of that.
yeah. My stream started right after. I mean, that's the fight I want. You know, that's the fight I want. That's the fight. That's a fight a lot of people want to see. We have history. A lot of there's not too much people right now that people are considering BMFs.
Right.
But on that very short list, on a very short list, Charles Oliveira is one of them. So, you telling me that I get to go out there and defend the BMF title again against a man who's very respected, who I have history with, and the first time that they talk about our fight, or he talks about it, was an injury or so, and whatever. So let's go figure it out. Let's figure it out then. If you believe that the first one was because of the injury, and everybody's gonna come at me, and social media is gonna come at me after this, it's light, because at the end of the day, if you guys really did your research, nothing was ever found for an injury when he got released from the doctor. So at the end of the day, I would love that fight. He did great things. He actually was a champion at one point, and me getting another win over a top 5 guy would only be me closer to a title shot where I eventually want to be.
It's rare for history to knock twice as loudly as it did, but this one knocked the door off its hinges. Charles Oliveira and Max Holloway are going to clash once more, and this time it will be a confrontation rather than a nostalgia trip. One went on to become the volume king of the division, while the other transformed himself into the sport's most dangerous finisher. This is more than just a rematch. It's two legacies traveling through time to resolve a dispute they never really resolved.
And that's Oliveira versus Holloway. I nearly said that's Holloway. But that's Oliveira versus Holloway, which is a sick fight. I reckon Oliveira is going to win that one.
But for Holloway, timing and unresolved matters led to this matchup rather than chasing history. He was eager to return to the cage by the end of the year, but he had to slow down and recover from the aftermath of his previous bout. After that was resolved, he moved forward, reintroduced himself, and accepted the offer. Charles Oliveira, the BMF title, and the eagerly anticipated rematch came next.
Pretty exciting. Tell us how it came about and your thoughts on fighting Charles Oliveira.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to go before the end of the year, but after that last fight, we had some injuries that we had to take care of. But we're here now. At the end of the day, with everything going on, I'm just happy to throw my name in the mix. I put my name in the hat, and we got Charles. For the BMF title. A lot of people are excited for this.
When it comes to Oliveira, Holloway uses firm words. He respects the track record of elite victories, the titles, and the resume, but respect does not equate to hesitancy. He believes that Charles is a dangerous opponent who characterizes situations like this. In terms of style, it's two fighters who thrive in chaos and won't give up. Max thinks there's only one thing that can be guaranteed once it begins. It will turn into a genuine fight that the devoted fans won't be able to ignore.
And it's Charles Oliveira, your opponent. He wanted this fight. He asked for you. He asked for you for the BMF belt. What are your thoughts on Charles's career? Because like yourself, he's been a champion. He's had an incredible fighting career, beat the best of the best. What kind of challenge does he present for you?
Amazing fighter, great fighter. I mean, just sucks that he got to run into me again.
We know his submission skills. We know that obviously he holds that record. We know absolutely everything you can do in the octagon as well, but who imposes their will? What sort of matchup are we expecting between the two of you? We know you're going to throw down, but what does it look like stylistically?
It's going to be a fun fight, He's a fighter. He's your fighter's favorite fighter. I'm your fighter's favorite fighter, and that's what you're going to get. A lot of fans online they're kind of heartbroken about this fight happening. So at the end of the day, I get it. It is what it is. Whenever you get a Charles Oliveira, whenever you get myself fighting, it's going to be a fight. So
In Oliveira's eyes, this fight is all about seizing every opportunity. He's not holding back, whether on his feet or on the ground. He plans to dictate the pace and force the action. Victory for him comes from constant pressure, sharp transitions, and finishing the fight wherever the chance appears. In his eyes, it's not about predicting the outcome, it's about making the fight unfold on his terms.
How'd you get your hand raised?
E como é que esse braço vai ser levantado?
Com certeza vai ser uma grande luta, né? Tudo pode acontecer. A gente está falando sobre MMA, eu vou caçar o tempo inteiro, ou eu vou nocautear, eu vou finalizar, eu quero vencer.
For sure it's going to be a great fight. Listen, anything can happen. It's MMA. I'm going to be hunting all the time. May not knock him out, maybe finish him, but I'm going to for sure.
However, Oliveira isn't hiding his respect for Holloway, but he's making one thing clear. Their first clash wasn't the full picture. Injuries held him back, and now, fully healthy, he's eager to show what really happened inside the cage. For him, this rematch isn't just another fight, it's a long-awaited chance to settle unfinished business and give fans the showdown they've been waiting for.
O Max Holloway disse que tem um interesse, é uma luta que seria uma revanche para você, né? E que você realmente gostaria de ter essa revanche?
Sim, na realidade é um cara que eu respeito demais. Na minha última luta com ele, todo mundo sabe, eu tive uma lesão, tal, ele fala que não, mas eu tive uma lesão, né? Então, com certeza seria um bom reencontro.
On the other hand, Holloway has bigger goals. The BMF belt isn't the destination. It's just proof he's still knocking on the biggest door. He's already tasted what it feels like to sit at the top once, and now, in a new division, that hunger has come back sharper. He believes his body has caught up to his ambition, stronger, quicker, more complete, and that this version of himself belongs in the title picture. More than anything, he's energized by being back in the conversation, back in the chaos, with a clear target in mind, the undisputed crown with Oliveira being only just the stepping stone to it.
The goal never changes, bro. You know, ever since I got in the UFC from my first fight to now, you know, I want the undisputed belt. That's all I want, you know. And you know, I had it for a little bit in another weight class. Now we're in a different weight class. I feel good. I feel strong. I feel fast. I feel great, man. I feel really great. And I'm just excited to have my name in the pot, you know. And I get to take one step closer to that goal. We're getting my hand raised on March 7th.
And for Oliveira, he is setting his sights firmly on the top, making it clear that his next fight isn't just another bout, it's a shot at ultimate recognition, whether that comes in the form of the BMF belt or the official division championship. On top of that, a showdown with Max Holloway isn't just another fight, it could be the grand finale of his career. For him, it's high stakes, high drama, and the perfect stage to cement his legacy before stepping away.
You've always been big on setting goals. At one point, it was fighting Islam Makhachev again. Then it was becoming UFC lightweight champion. Now it's fighting home in Brazil. Once we get past Saturday, what's the next big goal for Charles Oliveira?
BMF, uma luta importante, porque eu creio que essas são as lutas que vão me levar ao título.
For sure, just winning this fight and fighting for a title, whether it's a BMF or a title of the division. These are great things that will, and this is a great fight that will propel me towards the title.
BMF fight sounds sick. How high would you rate the idea of fighting Max Holloway? Because I feel like that's one that the fans would go crazy for.
Acho que todos gostariam de ver essa luta. Por que não seria minha próxima luta?
I think a lot of people, everyone would love to see this fight. I want this to be my next fight.
And this fight has the whole division in an uproar. If Ilya moves up for Islam, Justin Gaethje sees a clear path to the BMF title, and he's ready to stake his claim. For him, it's not just about chasing belts, it's about stepping into the cage with Holloway or Oliveira and proving he belongs in the fight. Fans are buzzing for, and we just have to get over the Holloway versus Oliveira fight first. The BMF strap isn't just a trophy, it's the ultimate statement, and Gaethje is determined to make it his.
Hey, with Ilia Topuria, right? Because we'd love to see you unify the belt with Ilia Topuria if things go to plan at UFC 324. But do you believe that Topuria hangs around the division? Are you hoping you get a chance to unify the belt against him? Or do you think he might be going up to do this whole Islam thing potentially? Who knows, maybe at the White House or something?
I guess I don't really have an opinion. I mean, if he went up, I would just be the champion, which I would, you know, I'm not going to complain about. But I think what that leaves open is the chance for me to get a rematch against Max Holloway or Charles Oliveira, get my belt and get the BMF belt. And ultimately, that was the script I've been speaking into existence since the Fiziev fight. I thought I was going to fight Ilya in January, and then I was going to fight Max or whoever had to be Max or Oliver. Now they're fighting, but before it was just Max. I was gonna fight Max on the White House card, and then have both those belts.
Moreover, Jorge Masvidal respects Holloway as one of the sport's best, a fighter who brings relentless pressure every time he steps in the cage. But he laughs at the idea that the BMF belt was ever a joke. Anyone fighting for it is elite. Whether it would have been him or Nate facing Max, it wouldn't have been an easy night. For Jorge, it's about the matchup, a stylistic clash, a test of striking, and a chance to prove he can command the fight and honor the BMF legacy. In his mind, this is the kind of fight fans live for, high stakes and non-stop action.
I don't listen. Max Holloway said this on his YouTube channel. The BMF belt to me personally represents just a bad mother effer. You know, blessed man forever. Only very few get the fight for this belt. The belt was a laughing stock before. All of a sudden I got it and everyone wants to fight for it now. It's hilarious. It's fun to me. What do you make of that? Him saying that it was a laughing stock before, because not many people held that belt. You were the one that put it on the map.
I mean, I love Max as a fighter. That's his opinion. That's his opinion. You know, I think he's one of the best fighters to do it. He's a dog when he goes in there. But whether it had been me or Nate fighting Max, it wasn't gonna be like his best night either. I think, you know. So I don't think how in laughing stock in what way, because the skill level is obviously there. You know, I mean, I would love to fight Max just on a stylistic matchup. I think.
Whereas MMA Guru is buzzing over the Oliveira versus Holloway matchup, calling it an exciting fight, but he's not impressed with how it was announced. He thinks the empty seat setup had potential, but teasing it with highlight reels before the official reveal gave away too much for casual fans. Little details like missing name cards on the chairs add to his frustration. While he's clearly hyped for the fight, he doesn't hold back on calling out the UFC for sloppy execution behind the scenes. Still, no matter the rollout, he knows the matchup itself is going to deliver fireworks.
And that's Holloway. That's Oliveira versus Holloway. I nearly said that's Holloway. But that's Oliveira versus Holloway, which is a sick fight. I reckon Oliveira is going to win that one.
Even with the rollout frustrations, Charles Sonnen zeroes in on why this fight matters beyond the hype. He highlights that Oliveira didn't just call out Holloway, he specifically asked for the belt, and that distinction is crucial. In MMA, a high-profile matchup doesn't automatically put a title on the line. Sonnen points to Colby Covington versus George Masvidal as an example, where a personal Vegas main event didn't guarantee a championship. For a savvy veteran like Oliveira, making it clear the BMF strap is at stake isn't just smart, it's essential. And with Max confirming the belt, there's no question this fight is for glory.
Oliveira versus Max, guys, I think we're at that point, right? Like, I think we can come out and announce this. Now, I'm assuming that you know, Charles Oliveira, when he gets done on Saturday, he calls out Max and he asks him to put up the belt. By the way, which is an important distinction to make. Colby Covington fought George Masvidal. It was personal, it was Vegas, it was main event, George was champion. We, Team Colby, assumed it was for the belt. We win the fight, we don't get the belt. I mean, I'm just sharing for you. It is important for a smart veteran like Charles to make the distinction and call for the belt. It's important when Max responds that we're all clear that it's for the belt.
Sonnen further points out that usually champions are the ones being challenged and not the ones doing the calling, making this fight even more intriguing. He shares his longtime connection with Max, having seen him early in his UFC career, and praises him as both an elite fighter and a genuinely good person. Getting to know Oliveira as well, Sonnen notes he's equally impressive, which makes their past tension all the more curious. Two highly respected, skilled athletes, both admired for their character, yet somehow there's friction between them.
Champions get called out. They don't do the calling. Now that makes me very curious. What's up with these two guys? I've known Max for his entire career. In fact, fought on a card with Max, and it was either his debut or it was his second ever fight. So when I tell you I knew him, that's the day I met him. So when I tell you I knew him his entire UFC career, this is a literal statement. He's awesome. I think you guys know that. I mean, he's a wonderful guy, is my point. They're not all. You get disappointed plenty of times. Max is a wonderful guy. But you guys know that. I'm just getting to know Charles on a personal level. He came over here, did an interview that we brought to you. He's a wonderful guy. They're not all. So when you have two baby faces, when you have two good guys, two Wonderful guys. When are you going to call a guy wonderful, by the way? I don't know if I've ever done. You got two wonderful guys. Why do they not get along? What is their problem with each other? What really happened between these two? And that has not come out. And there is an answer to that. Now,
Building on Sonen's breakdown, Ariel Helwani adds his take, noting that even Dustin Poirier agrees. Oliveira vs. Holloway for the BMF belt is an electrifying matchup. Helwani also points out a pattern with Ilia Topuria. Every fighter who steps into the cage with him, no matter their status, seems to come out sharper in their next fight. Whether it's Charles, Max, Volkanovski, or even Emmett, their performances after facing Ilia stand out, which only adds intrigue to this showdown, highlighting the skill, stakes, and style fans can expect. And then Bedtime MMA breaks down the fight with a personal twist. He doesn't want either man to lose, but if he had to pick, he leans toward Max Holloway. He praises Max as a dynamic striker with underrated grappling, while noting that Oliveira has shifted his style recently, dialing back some power and leaning more into offensive wrestling. From the fence work against Chandler, Gamrot, and Topuria, it's clear Oliveira is adapting his approach, but that evolution might just give Max the edge in this stylistic clash. He continues his breakdown, noting that Oliveira's striking hasn't delivered the same knockout impact lately, whether due to matchups or a focus on protecting himself and getting into grappling quickly. Still, Charles remains extremely dangerous, with solid leg kick defense and a heavy right hand that could catch Max at the wrong moment. He envisions moments of chaos, a potential knockdown, a near submission, and both fighters scrambling with smiles, but ultimately sees Holloway taking the fight by decision in a tense, action-packed battle. What do you think of this matchup? Just a stepping stone or a legacy-defining fight? And who do you see winning? Drop your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to subscribe for more.